we've ever had. And we will prevail in other parts of the world. I'd be glad to talk to you about our problems in Pakistan today, the problem with Syria, trying to overthrow the government of Lebanon, the threat that Hezbollah poses to Israel. Because when things go bad, things go bad. And when things started going bad in Iraq, they started going bad in other places. Things are now turning out around in Iraq. And you can rest and take comfort in the knowledge that these young men and women who are serving are the best and the bravest and the most courageous we've ever had. So let me just mention finally one thing to you, and I'd like to answer any questions or comments that you might have. You know, when this thing began and things were really bad in Iraq and other candidates were, shall I say, equivocating, well, many of the political pundits said John McCain, his chances to be president of the United States are permanently damaged. And it may have been. But I want to tell you, every once in a while you have an experience that puts everything in the proper priority and the proper perspective in our lives. And that happened to me about 7 weeks ago. I was in Wolfboro, New Hampshire at a town hall meeting. At the town hall meeting, a woman stood up and she said, Senator McCain, will you do the honor of wearing a bracelet with my son's name on it, Matthew Stanley? She said, my son Matthew was 22 years old. He was killed outside of Baghdad in combat just before Christmas last year. I said, I would be glad and honored to wear this bracelet with your son's name on it. And then she said, Senator McCain, I want you to make one promise to me, just one. And that is you'll do everything in your power to make sure that my son's death was not in vain. My friends, I think that puts everything in perspective that we know and appreciate. And I'm going to not only do everything that I can to make sure that Matthew Stanley's death was not in vain, that further American deaths are not incurred needlessly. And I will continue, as you will, particularly on this day, not only appreciate those great Americans who have served and sacrificed, but they're the inspiration to those that are serving and sacrificing as we speak today. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Did I have any questions? Or yes, sir.
My wife would like to ask you a question.
Don't be shy.
Go ahead and ask her.
I just had a comment about Social Security and women's inadequacy in their income. And why can't, when they give the cost of living increase for Social Security, why couldn't it be across the board instead of a certain percentage going according to what you're getting? And I think that would be fair to you, because they start off lower and they just never catch up.
You mean a set amount across the board?
Right.
Rather than a percentage as far as you.
Yeah.
I got you. I never thought of it, and I'd be glad to look at it. But I'd like to mention one other aspect of it really quickly. If your Medicare payments continue to go up faster than the cost of living adjustment, you can do the math. And that's why we have to fix health care in America, and that's why, my dear friends, it's not the quality of health care in America, it's the cost of health care. And I want it to be affordable and available to every American because it's the highest quality in the world. Senator Clinton wants every American mandated to have health care. I want every American to have a home. I want every American to have an education, but I'm not going to mandate it. But I'll tell you what, if you like the big government solution, embrace Senator Clinton's proposal, my friends, and go to Canada and have a look before you decide that you want to do that.
You're right.
Government doesn't run programs very well. So, anyway.
How do we beat Fitch?
May I give the translation? The way that...
John, I thought you was talking about my ex-wife.
But that's an excellent question. You might know that there was a poll yesterday, a Rasmussen poll, I identify it, that shows me 3 points ahead of Senator Clinton in a head-to-head matchup. respect Senator Clinton. I respect anyone who gets the nomination of the Democrat Party. But I think there are fundamental philosophical differences. Fundamental differences. She is a liberal Democrat. I am a proud conservative Republican. Whether it be taxes, whether it be health care, whether it be the fact that once it was sure we were going to be staying in Iraq, she still voted to cut off the funding for the men and women who are fighting in Iraq. She voted to cut off the funding. There's a real difference there. There's a real difference in how we think health care should be handled in America, whether there's a big government solution or whether we should put the decisions in the individual citizens' hands themselves. There's a difference on taxes. There's a difference on a broad variety of issues. I look forward to the debate. I believe America is a conservative nation. I believe she's a liberal. I'll win. I promise you.
She's not really a shoo-in unless you're looking at polls, Senator McCain, about her getting the nomination from the Democratic Party. That hasn't happened yet.
Yes.
Why does the media, this is my more direct question, why does the media cover up all of the values that you tended to make before about our servicemen and our commitment in the world and all? We're a great country. But when you read the media, what it puts out, you know the networks, I see them, you see it. How do you adjust to that? I mean, how does our society adjust to that?
The way you do it is to come and work 24/7, the way that I'm doing, and have direct contact with people. That's the way that you do it. In the town hall meetings in New Hampshire and the traveling across this state, the direct contact, friends like these, friends like you who will go out and tell your friends and neighbors that we were together and you want them to vote for me as well. That's how it really works. And let me just mention one other thing, spending. Why did we Republicans lose our majority in 2006? Because we let spending get out of control, and we presided over the biggest increase in government since the Great Society. My friends, Ronald Reagan used to say, Congress spends money like a drunken sailor. Excuse me, Dale. Used to say, Congress spends money like a drunken sailor, only he never knew a sailor, drunk or sober, with the imagination of Congress. And that's one of my favorite lines. And I'm not making this up. I received an email from a guy about 6 months ago. I'm not making this up. And it said, as a former drunken sailor, I resent being compared to members of Congress. Spending. Senator Clinton, according to The Hill, which is a periodical, got $530 million worth of earmarked pork barrel projects in the first 3 appropriations bills. I have never had an earmark appropriation or a pork barrel project in the 24 years I've been in Congress. I've been fighting it. I will fight it every step of the way. I will veto every single pork barrel bill that comes across my desk, and you will know their names because they will be famous. That's a big difference between me and Senator Clinton, is she wants business as usual. I want to stop doing the business as usual in Washington on spending. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then I'll go back. Yes,
I have a question about illegal immigrants.
yes, sir.
I think we learned last summer that many of us want to take a stronger stand against those who are presently in the country than you do.
No,
I'm just
not now, not
I'm just-
anymore.
I'm just wondering.
Not anymore.
Are you flexible on that issue at all, or do you still want amnesty? And I know you don't call it that, but
Yes,
most of us
sir.
see it that
I
way.
want to secure the borders first. The lesson of our failure is Americans no longer have any trust or confidence in their government. Katrina, Iraq, spending, whatever. There's no trust or confidence. Look at the polls. Latest poll I saw, approval rating of Congress is 11%. You get down that low, you get down to paid staffers and blood relatives. Now, the moral of the story is they want the border secured first. As president, I will have the border